Live from the Asbury Park Music Foundation and presented by Mogo, it's One More with Brian Erickson.
You ready? Welcome to One More. I'm your host, Brian Erickson. Each week, we bring in two new guests. We sit them down at the table. We find out why they do what they do. This week, of course, is no exception. We have photographer Jesse Andrew and award-winning radio personality Jeff Raspe. But first, and as always, what's going on, Jesse McCormick and Chris Dubrow?
Hi, Brian. How's it going?
Brian.
How are things?
How was your weekend?
Good. My mom.
That's my line, man.
Yeah, my
Trying to
mom. We
replace you.
went visited my mom.
It was
It's
your
her
mom's birthday.
Yeah, it's Joyce's
Yeah.
birthday.
She turned 40. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's it. You only turned 40 one time. Had me when she was 5.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah. No, she's a little ahead of the curve.
Yeah, look, listen, we all develop at different ages.
Yeah, true.
How was that? What'd you do for your mom's birthday? I need ideas because I don't know what to do. I don't know. Look, I don't know I know like the date of like Mountain Goat albums released down to like the minute. Don't know my mom's birthday. Let's confess that.
Really?
Don't know it.
You don't know your mom's birthday?
It's somewhere in late April. I always get.
Do you count on Facebook?
No, I don't. My
Do you
father's.
count on your dad?
Yes, and they're separated.
Yeah,
so it's just
they're
like it's a
separated,
crapshoot. My father's birthday is the same day as Bob Dylan's, so that's just I look that up every year. It's like around May. I just double check that. But mom's I don't know anyone's birthday. I don't know girlfriends, best friends, no one's. So
Really?
Yeah, don't have me as a friend.
Jesse, how was your weekend?
Are we live yet? Did we go live? Sadly. Because that conversation was off camera, right, Matt?
Sure. Off the record. I did some karaoke.
Why is that funny?
Karaoke's funny.
Why is that funny?
It's a fun time.
Yeah, but Jesse's like a really good singer, though.
That was not. Don't make fights happen. Look, this is for off camera.
No. Our scene monopoly.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
family therapy. One more family therapy. We got to do an episode
for off camera.
Yeah, you're right. Just the airing of grievances.
That'd be great.
We'll do a special episode.
And then we do like feats of strength, where Jesse just obliterates the both of us.
I mean, look, I'm quitting smoking, so I'm still out of shape. But that's
oh yeah.
Speaking
I'm
of,
just more upset about it.
So you did some karaoke this weekend.
Is that all you did all weekend?
Did anybody go see Maddie Carlock?
I saw Maddie Carlock at Jack's. It was a great performance. He looks very upset that we even brought him up. But yeah.
That's because you can see through the camera and you know exactly who's watching at any moment.
That was really great. The album sounds really wonderful, Maddie. I really enjoy it. It's fun to listen to.
What else you do?
Be interesting. Come on.
Stop interrupting.
We did the fundraiser for Kathy Quintana last week.
How'd that go?
It went really well. We raised a whole bunch of money and had a really great night for Kathy and her roommates.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It did. If my Instagramming is correct, she got a guitar from Lou Panico, right?
Yeah, she got a guitar, a bunch of new clothes, all like basic essential stuff that people need to live, and she's got a nice little chunk of change now as well.
That's really great.
So,
and for anybody that's wondering too, I believe the GoFundMe is still active, right?
Yeah.
They're only $200-$300 away from the goal. So I think last week's episode we posted the link, but this week let's post the link again. To Kathy Quintana's GoFundMe. She, for anybody that's not familiar, she was a guest here just a couple months ago, and unfortunately, about 2 weeks ago, her house burned down in a fire. So, obviously, Scene comes together and tries to help people out when we can. So, yeah, so that's great news.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Well, good.
Why don't you be interesting, Chris?
I don't have a charity, but I will be interesting because this week is brought to you by Mogo. One more, Brian Erickson is sponsored by Mogo. Brian, do you hear that? It's the rumbling in my stomach that can only be satisfied by the savory goodness of Mogo Korean fusion tacos. Somebody give me some Mogo, or I'll burn this entire building down. It's violent copy.
Right,
Featuring fresh,
we'll
homemade
change it.
ingredients, family recipes, and a variety of menu options. Can we get a zoom in on that, Nash? Thank you. Mogo's bringing
some good
traditional
tofu.
Korean flavor to the masses. For the past 3 years, Mogo has also been a leading sponsor of the Asbury Park Live, a free weekly summer concert series run in conjunction with the Asbury Park Music Foundation. This event series is not only showcases emerging and established Asbury Park acts, but also raises money for youth music education, including the launch of a new Latin music summer camp last year. So visit either of their 2 locations, Cookman Avenue or the Asbury Park Boardwalk, for casual sit-down dining or takeout. The prices are always fair, the food is always fantastic. Mogo Korean Fusion Taco. I once fed some to a baby. Brian.
He's an award-winning radio personality and only our second guest with their own Wikipedia page. Let's welcome Jeff Raspe.
Is that real?
Yeah.
How are you?
Good.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Yes.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
So, are these real microphones?
No, these
Yeah, this
are,
whole thing is fake.
the real microphones are hidden.
Because Chris was just yelling.
Well, that's how this
Really
works. That's how.
loudly.
So what
So
Jeff
clearly,
just revealed, he's
we've
never,
done our
he's never watched
we've
an
done our
episode.
research on you. You've clearly not returned the the favor.
So this is a thing?
This is a thing. Yeah, this is a thing. This has been a thing for like 2 years.
It's been going on for a while.
You know, we did this in Red Bank, and we've been here at APMF for just a shade over a year.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Is that? I mean, no.
No. Or we've been a thing for just a shade over a year. We've been here since July.
Something like that.
You guys
Yeah,
are a
something
thing?
like that. What's that?
Well,
You guys are a
listen,
thing?
that's private conversation. Valentine's Day is coming up, Brian. I
we
do
are.
expect flowers.
We are a thing. in a way.
Soon to be Facebook official.
So you, first off, go Pride. You're a Hofstra graduate. So.
I am, and we were the Flying Dutchman at the time, so it's Go Dutchman.
Oh, excuse me. Class of '88, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Pride was the, what do you call it, the Booster Club.
Oh, okay. Why the change?
I have
I'm
no
sure
idea.
you. Yeah.
I honestly have no idea why it
Why
was
did this
changed.
college I never went to change their?
I have no idea. And
Oh, that's
most
fine.
people don't. Because frankly, the Flying Dutchman, there was a mascot. You kind of understood what it was.
Well, Pride. It's
Pride?
like a lion. It's like the lion.
Well, it's
got lions
It's
on
a
it.
group of lions.
Well,
It's a
the
pride.
insignia is like a lion and a
Is a
lioness.
lion, yes.
Yeah, it's two
Yeah.
of them.
I mean, that part we understood.
Okay.
The part you didn't understand was it's not like, how do you say the Hofstra Pride? You have pride in Hofstra.
Well, yeah.
It's
So then
not
you'd have
like-
Pride.
Right. Which,
Yeah.
is silly.
So you graduated Hofstra in the late '80s, and how much did you just kind of know that this was going to be your path? Because you kind of got right into it. Like you didn't,
I
it wasn't
did.
like you spent a decade, working in a bank or something. Like you kind of went right from college right to, right into it. More
I
or
did.
less.
As a freshman at Hofstra, I was an undecided business major.
Okay, as most
And
are.
went to the radio station for fun. And at some point in the second semester realized I should really be getting credit for all these hours. And so I became a radio major, not necessarily the wisest decision anyone's ever made.
As a fellow radio major, yes, I agree.
And then, so I graduated in the spring of '88. And on Halloween night, 1988, I did my first show at the old FM 106.3.
Yeah. Now, as you kind of came of age, in that time, maybe, in the decade or so prior, radio was still kind of all like, it was kind of still a big deal.
It was a perfect time. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any kind of influences? Like, did you listen to like Dan Ingram or Cousin Brucey or, anybody
Well,
like that?
I did grow up listening to the old WNEW, also a lot of WFMU for, how not to be professional.
Yeah.
The best, truly.
and-
R.I.P.
yeah, they're
Ed Trey
great.
Burns. Passed away yesterday.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
But yeah, I knew when I changed major, I realized I should be getting credit for this, and realizing the possibility of having dozens, hundreds, thousands of people listening at the same time. was better than making a mixtape and delivering it to everybody door to door.
Much more efficient.
Yes.
That's actually, Jeff Raspe, efficiency expert. So how long did it take you to get comfortable on the air? Yeah, the, like ums and ers and all those little ticks. Like how long did that take to go away?
Not long, as I recall. There's, not counting that one.
Or that one right there.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get caught.
Now we're going to Chris, get the pen.
Now we're just
going to,
we're in an
if you could.
now.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
we're going to get caught in that cycle.
Yeah.
It's really just a matter of doing it. I did the new music show. I produced and hosted the new music show for 3 years of the 4 that I was at Hofstra. But being at a student-run radio station, you had to cover a lot of other shows. I mean, I actually was thinking about this earlier today. I think the only show I didn't regularly host was the jazz show. But I did fill in on the jazz show more than a few times.
Okay, how'd that go? Are you a fan of jazz?
I wasn't at the time.
Okay. Probably have to get up to speed pretty quick.
Yeah, well, it was pretty much program stuff. There was a jazz music director, so you kind of knew what was current, what you had to play. Not to mix.
Like 50s West Coast cool jazz with early 70s jazz
Smooth
fusion.
jazz.
You don't want to miss
God forbid
jazz, man.
you
Come
mix
on.
your Joe Zawinul with your Grover Washington Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, God almighty.
Did you hear how insufferable that sounded?
Well, that was on purpose.
I know, but that didn't make it any less insufferable.
Oh, come on.
But it's not untrue.
Yeah, no, it's not. Listen, I am as much in favor of not mixing your scoobops and your biddly bops. Okay, like I support that.
Thank you.
You got to keep the bee wop bops and the boodly bop bop bops separate. But
You'd figure that would be an obvious tactic for
Some
most people that most people would take, but
some people, man,
are just disappointing.
they're just mixing their jazz.
So you land at 90.5.
Thank you.
In 2001.
2001.
And aside from the format, what was kind of the biggest differences between kind of this public or this NPR affiliated station and the alternative rock station you started with?
One was commercial, one is not.
Okay.
That's honestly the biggest difference. Musically, I have a feeling that a lot of the stuff we play at 90.5 the night, we would have been playing at FM 106.3 were FM 106.3 still around.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously not necessarily the more Americana-ish sounding things, but a good fraction of what we play at 90.5 would be also on the air if there were an FM 106.3 handled the same way as it was back then.
But do you think, because I would say 90.5 is the reason I listened to They Might Be Giants. Like, that was the only radio station I listened to. Like, they weren't playing They Might Be Giants on alternative radio back then, were they? Like, even on, like...
Way back then, yes.
Yeah, like, back in, like, the 80s and early 90s. But, like, by the time 2000s hit, like, They Might Be Giants went off the radio.
Well, pretty much, yeah. Because somewhere along the line... Well, I know exactly where along the line. In 1991, when people realized that Nevermind was selling a bazillion copies, then every label had to have their Nirvana sound alike, and that became the playlist for every alternative radio station. And then somewhere after that, alternative, which when we started in 84 or whatever it was, we were one of, FM 106.3 was one of the 6 original what became known as alternative stations. We didn't have a name. Yeah. It wasn't called alternative at the time. It was just like, weird.
Or it was like college radio.
It was sort of modeled.
It was commercial radio.
It was commercial radio, but it was modeled after college radio.
Yeah. It's funny because I had on a separate program, I had a conversation about something similar. I talked to an old DJ from WLIR, which was, I imagine, I'm not familiar with the station you worked at, but it feels like they're kind of similar. In that point, at that point, you're probably playing like The Cure.
Yeah.
And Clash and
LIR was literally right up the street from Hofstra.
Yeah.
So most of my classmates either interned or, in a few cases, they actually got jobs at LIR. One reason I chose to go to something else was LIR was very in those years, sort of synth dance based, and I wanted to play more guitars. Not that I can play a guitar, but I wanted to play more records with guitars. And
what were you listening to back then?
The Cure, R.E.M., U2,
Okay.
Echo and the Bunnymen, a lot of bands that nobody's going to remember their names.
Like what? Try us. What do you got?
Yeah, try Brian.
Lime Spiders.
Okay, you got me.
Moving on. First time I've ever seen that happen.
Wow, yeah, I mean, were they like I was kind of expecting like Miracle Legion or something. I was like, okay, I got that. But no, Lime Spider.
Well,
no idea.
I could have said Miracle Legion, but I ended up working for them. So.
Yes, you did.
He didn't want to seem like he was impartial. Something like that.
Lime Spiders was a random late 80s Australian band.
Oh, okay.
That checks out.
Speaking of, to kind of piggyback off that, you said you ended up working with Miracle Legion. How did your experience working, with record labels and in artist management kind of help you better understand the business end of the music industry? Like, how did that all sort of connect? Did that sort of help, like, as a radio person, did that help sort of close the circle up a bit?
Yeah. Being in radio helped on that side, and being on that side helped in radio.
Mm-hmm. How?
Actually, it's funny. Last year, my former boss at that job at Absolute Go-Go Records / Miracle Management, he passed away. So I started thinking about the 4 or 5 years, I guess it was, that I was working with him in a 2-man office. It was him and me, and I wasn't even there every day. Everybody asked, what did I do? I was like, I did everything except say yes and sign checks.
Oh, wow.
Counting change to make postage and driving hundreds of LPs to be sent to radio and press to the Oakland, New Jersey post office. They loved us.
Wow, I'm sure they
especially
did.
when we brought in a bag of change.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a government office. They have to honor it.
But 30 years later, I realized a lot of the stuff that I learned sitting in that same office with my old boss, Brad Morrison. Not only are a lot of the people I came in contact with still friends of mine, like the guys from Miracle Legion, but I still use things that I watched and learned from Brad.
Oh wow! So that's good though. That experience kind of, I like hearing things like that when you kind of take that experience forward with you.
Yeah, and it's I mean, for anybody who wants to know more about Absolute Go-Go Records, which, again, to go back to Australia, there was an Australian label called Absolute Go-Go, which we were confused with a lot. But at Absolute Go-Go, we were, not only did we have the Vesterman Tiny Lights from Hoboken, the Vesterman from Springfield, Mass. We put out the first Fish album, official Fish album.
Junta?
Technically, it was post-Junta.
Oh, Lawn Boy?
Or Junta, as they called it.
Of course.
That checks out.
Which confused everybody because everybody knows it's Junta.
Junta, yeah.
Trey didn't know that.
Yeah.
Apparently not. But the Lawn Boy album.
Wow.
And then I one of the things I had to do was do tour advance. Like when they were on tour, and in those days they were on tour 300 days a year. And the 2 months they were home, they were in Trey's barn rehearsing.
Yeah.
Each time they went further west, I had to talk to the clubs or the colleges that were booking them, and I'll never forget, there was a college in Oregon somewhere that was like, oh my God, are people going to come? They've never been here before. And I was just like, calm down. Do you have a population of Grateful Dead heads in your town? Yeah. Don't worry about it. You'll be good.
Excellent. Wow, that's a great story. Now we do have to get wrapped up. Before we get out of here, I know you have something to promote. You have a show on March 17th.
Yes, March 17th, the night of St. Patrick's Day. We announced on Friday there will be a Songwriter Circle show, which is a benefit for 90.5 The Night, with special guests Matthew Cause from Not a Surf, Anthony D'Amato, or as some of us have to call him, Anthony Not Remember Jones D'Amato, Jocelyn and Chris Arndt, Glenn Burtnick and Bob Berger, also known as Lefty and Zeke, and Davey Knowles, a great blues guitar player from the Isle of Man.
Oh wow! And that's the
Don't go there.
Strand Theater in Lakewood.
At the Strand Theater in Lakewood.
Cool. And before we get out of here, I have one more question for you. How does it help you to know that people are out there paying attention? That's our last question for you.
Well, it's helpful to know that you're not screaming into a vacuum.
I hope to one day know what that's like.
Yeah, that's the entirety of my job.
Yeah.
On this particular program.
I've now been doing radio for 30 years. As of this past Halloween, it was my 30th anniversary. And it is...
Polite applause.
Golf applause. It is comforting and reassuring to know that after all these years, there are still people who are discovering me or my radio station. But at the same time, there are a lot of people who will come up and actually it happened yesterday at Jack's Music Shop when there was a Matty Carlock party going on. And his producer, Pete Andrews, introduced himself to me, or I introduced myself to him, and he said he was a big fan from the old 106.3 days, and I'd never met him before yesterday.
Wow. Well, that's great.
So it's good to know. I mean, if you're in, well, you guys will know this. When you're in the media.
Yes, as we most certainly are. We are 100%
I have
in
almost
the media.
500 Twitter followers, Jeff.
Deeply
We are
It is, if nothing else, it is reassuring to know that there are people out there hearing or watching or listening. Otherwise, you're like screaming into a vacuum.
Well,
and you don't have to be here to do it. You guys could be doing this, at your house.
well, this makes us feel slightly more legitimate.
Yeah.
So hopefully we won't be downgrading to my house. So 30 years in radio, hopefully 30 more.
We'll see.
Jeff Raspe,
If they have me.
thanks so much.
Thank you.
Come back
Thank you so
anytime.
much.
Thank
Pleasure,
you.
Jeff. Thank you for coming on.
Thank
Jeff
you.
Raspe, everybody.
Nightwing presents.
He got it.
He got it.
Oh, we'll get it during the events. I'll let you do that. Speaking of yelling into the void, One More is sponsored by You Don't Know Jersey, owned and operated by Allison Ed Maziak. Hey, Allison Ed. You Don't Know Jersey has been bringing its readers all the best in Garden State sports, music, art, film, and culture for nearly a decade. Hey, Bob Macon, have you ever just wanted a really good grilled cheese and tomato soup combo to calm the bitter, lifeless chill of winter's slow march? Jesus Christ, Brian.
You said you wanted a better one.
Write a song about it, dude. Jesus.
I don't write songs. I would if I wrote songs.
Oh, yeah, you got a point there. So,
Pro tip, pre-read copy before going on the air.
Thank you.
no,
yes.
no, Jeff. Okay, so clearly Jeff not only has never watched the show, was not paying attention to the show before that. So, whether you're in High Point, Cape May, or anywhere between, visit YouDon'tKnowJersey.com, because you don't know Jersey, but they sure as hell do. Brian.
Wow, we're make it
Not
look like
today.
make it look like we practiced this. So he is an up and coming
saved it, guys.
photographer and guitarist for Connor Bracken and the Mother Leeds Band. Let us welcome Jesse Andrew.
It's so graceful.
There's so many wires. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah. We're
Now's not
trying
the time to go
trip
down.
you up.
It's like that TV show with all the wires. What's that show called?
What's that? Yeah. What's that?
Matt got a good one this week, folks.
Hi-yo.
All right.
Here we are.
McNulty.
When you walk in the garden.
Nope.
Oh yeah, sorry, we can't sing that. It's copyrighted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah.
That's right. We can. Well, we've had covers. So Jesse, how are you?
Here I am.
Yeah.
Pretty
Welcome. Here, you want to move the mic over?
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
just a smidge.
Is this thing on?
I hope so.
This whole time.
It better. I mean, it is one more, so it may not actually be on. We won't know until after.
Until that's good. Until we get a text from Shawno. We're all out drinking afterwards. Like, that was a great episode. Never mind.
Sound doesn't cut in until 45 minutes in.
We got a little bit of blades, baby. What more do you need?
It's the best text I've ever received.
Bus you just threw.
right, you're not on camera. Don't be funny. We're doing.
You feeling challenged?
No. Sorry, Jesse. We totally derailed.
I didn't really prepare that many questions for you because because we were sitting at Langosta together just a couple weeks ago, and you started to kind of tell me a little bit about how you got here.
Yeah.
And I thought that your story would make for good TV. So I found it intriguing, and I thought maybe Chris and Jesse and some of our viewers, no, not the vacuum,
our friendly
some
vacuum.
of our friendly viewers out there might be intrigued by it as well. So you grew up here, right? In and around New Jersey?
Yeah, around Toms River.
Okay.
So a little bit down south.
And then you kind of took a shine to music and ended up going out to California, was it?
Yeah.
So how did that all?
I went out to California twice in my life. When I was 18, I went to Hollywood to Musicians Institute.
Oh wow!
And that worked out great.
That's actually Jeff Buckley went to Musicians Institute also.
Yeah, there were a couple other people I've heard that also did.
Yeah.
It worked out great enough for me to come back 7 months later.
Oh wow! I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I was going to say too. He also dropped out.
Oh yes, perfect.
Musicians
Then I am
Institute.
right where I need to be.
Yeah.
The next Jeff Buckley.
Just don't go swimming in the Mississippi River.
While singing a lot of love.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ooh. Okay.
Look,
Clearly,
we both
read the book.
Yeah. No, I was going to say the Wikipedia.
Oh, I definitely read the book.
I don't care much about
Chris
Jeff
doesn't
Buckley.
read.
Don't tell Rachel I'm adopting though.
Oh, okay.
She's watching.
Is she?
The one.
Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I
I mean,
believe
she's
she
been
has
on. It's not.
I've
It's possible she's watching. She's been a guest before. So you went to Musicians Institute. You left after 7 months, and you came back to New Jersey.
Yeah, and I actually got to live in Jersey City, so I didn't get to actually come back down here. But my favorite part of my whole life was I worked at Manny's Music.
A record store?
It's a music store, guitars, everything. But this was the place that everybody shopped. Hendrix bought pedals there.
Oh yeah.
That was the place since like the 30s. That's where musicians went. So I was pretty excited about that.
Does it still exist?
No, it doesn't.
That's
Not
kind of
anymore. I think recently too, the building actually came down.
Yeah, of course.
But it was a good time.
Did you have any while you were there? Did you have any kind of famous clients?
There were a lot of people that would always go through. Steve Jordan was always there.
Really?
Yeah, and that's kind of right when I started to realize who he was. I was like 19 years old. I'm like, wait a second.
What year is this?
This is like 2006.
Oh, so this is right when he was kind of coming. Well, he'd been around for decades,
Right, yes,
but this was
absolutely.
kind of when he started to come back around with like John Mayer.
Yeah, and he knew the owner because of just being a session guy. He always went to Manny's.
Wow.
But also at that same time, the roots got with Jimmy Fallon. So
Yeah, that's right.
I went to Sam Ash was across the street, so I went into the drum store to talk to a friend and bumped into Questlove, and it was my first I can't talk at all, oh, I can't believe that's him.
Yeah.
So there were a bunch of people that would come through there.
Wow.
Right on 48th Street in Times Square, so that was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So, how did that help kind of solidify your desire to pursue music? How did all those experiences, kind of being around all those people, pros and amateurs, what did that do to you as that's like just happening around you?
Well, it's funny because, when I bump into a couple people here, they semi-understand this. I started playing guitar when I was like 14.
Lucky.
Yeah. So by the time I was old enough to kind of listen to music and stuff, I started going to local punk rock shows. So seeing somebody, and I just met the guy that actually solidified in my head. I went to one of his shows a couple months ago.
Oh, who was it? What band?
It was they were a basement. The band was The Resistance, and the guy was Rob Goodson. And I actually saw him recently. We've been friends this whole time, but I finally was like, dude, you're why I haven't put my guitar down.
Really?
Because it was just one simple move of the typical rock and roll move, but he did it, and I was like, that's it. sold. And I never put my guitar down.
And how did he react to that? Because are they a well-known band? Are they like locals or?
They were a Toms River like hardcore band, and that was it.
And when did you see them? When did you tell them?
It's just like this was like a couple months ago.
Oh wow! So they've been around. So this is a band.
This was
been
a different
around
band,
for...
but he's been around forever.
Oh, okay, okay.
You know, he was in a different band at this point.
Okay, but he's been. So this guy has been playing around for years and years.
Yeah, yeah.
What was his reaction when you told him that?
So humble. And
Yeah?
that's the most important thing to me that I've noticed when you tell somebody that. A lot of people I've come across are, it kind of catches them off guard. They're really kind of humble about it, you know, and that means the world to me.
Yeah, and I'm sure that meant a lot to him too,
Yeah.
because I bet he didn't, have the opportunity to hear from decade-long fans
Right.
of his just kind of coming up and being like, "You're the reason."
Yeah.
So that must have been a really kind of interesting experience on both.
Yeah.
on
Yeah, it
both
was
ends.
cool.
So while this is all happening, while you're figuring out that music is something you want to do, did you have some kind of a backup plan?
It's funny because we'll skip like a good amount of that. So Manny's music, I finally got to play real guitars.
Okay.
Like the really expensive
yeah.
ones, and get to figure out tones and guitars, and I like this guitar and all of that. That came from working there.
Mm-hmm.
But then years later, I had friends from Musicians Institute that I had kept in contact with, and 10 years later, it was time for me to start talking to them again.
Yeah.
And that's when I moved out to California again. But in between that was exactly that. I was just working at a retail store trying to be an adult, trying my hardest,
it's not fun.
it was not fun, no. So that's when, I did try and have a fallback plan.
Yeah. And I'm sure life is a little better, or life got to be a little better once you said no to the fallback plan and decided to move back out.
Yeah, they called me at the right time in life, and I agreed. And I'll always say it exactly like a movie. I packed up a trailer. My friend flew out, and we drove cross country off into the sunset.
And how did
That's
that?
on the West Coast, so yes.
Yeah, off into
Actually,
the sunset.
okay,
Yeah. And how did
It was
that?
multiple sunsets, actually. 'cause
Well, I'm
it wasn't
sure.
a shot.
Yeah,
It wasn't a straight
more
shot.
than just one. Yeah.
It's a long drive.
So how did that work out? So you go out to California. You got you got these people from Musicians Institute. You join you join a band. How's that go? Because clearly you're back here, so maybe not so ideally.
Well, they were really great friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I had known them for a long time, and we always kept in contact. And in between those 10 years, I actually went out one time and kind of sat and kind of felt it out, maybe I could do this, and it didn't work out that time. But this time they're like family to me.
Yeah.
So when I moved out there, it was kind of let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, if it wasn't for that situation, I don't know if I could be doing what I'm doing now, because I was terrified of playing guitar in front of people.
Well, how did that experience help you?
It was the first time that I actually played with musicians other than through a CD.
Really?
I jammed with Stevie Ray Vaughan forever through a CD.
Wow. I was gonna say
You
just
know,
the two of you.
Yeah,
eyeball to eyeball, right?
Bedroom eyes. It was great.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
He's actually alive. He lives in Jersey City.
Yeah.
He's just-
I mean, he's a great guy.
Is he? Was he?
yeah. No, he manages.
No, he got-
he manages a Crate and Barrel.
Yeah. Well, now, yes, absolutely.
Stevie Ray Vaughan's Crate and Barrel.
That's his next album.
Well, no, he goes by Raymond.
Yeah, it's Raymond Vaughn.
Raymond Vaughn.
That's what the Vaughns named their band after.
That's what they did.
That was a fun riff, everyone.
Wow. Yeah. That's
Riff,
oof.
and here we are.
So.
So it was the first time I could actually play with musicians.
Okay.
Band practices, and we played a couple shows, and we actually recorded an album.
Really? Is it out? Is it available?
You can get it. I actually think I might have a copy somewhere.
Is it? What's it called? What's the band?
The band was Antique Radio, and the album is Everlasting Sun.
Is it on Spotify and
Yes.
stuff like that? Really?
Yeah.
Chris, you gonna look that up for us?
Totally.
There is one song I am ripping, my first ever written solo. There's recorded. There's proof that I played guitar at one point.
Okay. Well, I mean, we see
Finally
you
in the
in
record.
Leeds. We know you can play.
The Mother Leeds band.
Yes.
Well, sorry, we see
Connor
you
Bracken
in.
and
We
the
see
Mother
you in.
Check.
Connor Bracken just about to kick down some doors.
Jeez, Louise.
Name's Tip.
Yeah. So yes, now there are some people that have seen me actually play guitar. There are a lot that have not yet, though.
So, your mother was this encouraging and influential presence in your life, because I imagine most mothers that would consider themselves reasonable would say, don't move out to California and then come back and move out a second time to California.
Yeah.
But why was that the right thing for your family to do?
I think she had moved around a bunch when she was about my age also.
Okay.
And moms can usually tell when maybe you just don't fit where you're trying your hardest to be. So when I had a chance to go as far away as possible, she bought me the plane ticket. And it was like, go, let's go do this. And then when it was time for me to do it again, that wasn't a just wake up in the morning, I'm out of here. That was a lot of very important people in my life, sit down conversations like, do I quit my full-time job of 8 years to go join a band that is not rock star famous?
Yeah.
Famous to anybody other than the important people, and she was like, you don't have a choice. You have an opportunity and you have to take it.
That's really good, though. Like, you
Yeah.
think about that. You don't have a choice. You have an opportunity.
Yeah.
That's, I find that to be a very measured thing to say, because it's encouraging, but there's like a real thoughtfulness to something like that. That's not just like, yeah, just go for it, man. Like,
she was very calculated in the steps that she allowed me to take.
That's great.
Yeah. That was
So you obviously end up back here, and is this kind of where you start to take more of an interest in photography as well? Because I know you've sort of fallen in with Tina over at the Danny Clinch Gallery. That's just down the street from us.
yeah.
So yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. There. I was like, what are we? What is this?
Yeah.
But I don't know. You want to get a close up?
Yeah,
right
Nash,
there?
can we get a close up of
Yeah.
Jesse's pecs?
Pack. It's one
Excuse me.
solid pack.
Singular Josh
Yes.
Peck.
It's a giant solid pack.
Singular Josh Peck.
So that's I know we had talked before. That's kind of the part of the story.
Yeah, that's sort of the flashpoint for you maybe figuring out where you belong here.
Yeah. So I was in California. My mom is the most important person in my being, for sure, and this is proof of it. She was really sick. So while I was in California, I came home to see her. And I had been doing photography for probably like 7 years at this point.
Oh wow.
So I know how to work a camera. There's always learning, because now I'm shooting people. So it's more like, it's a lot of learning, but
Well, I mean, all you really have to do is you just point the phone,
Yeah.
and then you tap the screen to
Yeah.
focus it, and that's.
and you can
you
adjust.
just
the,
made enemies for life with Jeff Crespi.
Oh, he's been a guest here.
He's gonna walk in and be like, "You son of a bitch."
Of course, I don't mean that.
Right. So I'd been taking photos for quite some time before being able to come here. But while I came home to see my mom while she was sick, she knew I was a Danny Clinch fan. And she knew about that gallery from me talking about it.
Yeah.
So she's like, you should take a day and go see that gallery. And that is when I met Tina. And I'm a really big believer in a universe and the idea of you don't meet people just because.
Well, yeah, the universe kind of puts you where
Right.
it wants you when it wants you.
Exactly. So I've been playing guitar my whole life, but for some reason, this is the community that I fell into.
Yeah.
I didn't wake up and be like, Asbury Park seems nice. I was sent here.
Yeah.
And that's how I met Tina, who has been amazing for everything that I'm doing. But that gallery is why I know anybody that I do.
Yeah.
Just being able to shake hands or like that was a cool set or hey, I got a couple photos or any of that. That was because my mom sent me there, just like she had with other things,
And you got to meet Danny, and now like I guess you kind of count him as a as a friend or a close acquaintance, and what was that like to be a fan of somebody, be a fan of somebody's work, and now have them just be so accessible. Because now you see him now, like just today he's got pictures from the Grammys, he's got he did that Pearl Jam concert film, what was it, last year? So what is that like to know that someone like that of such import to you can just be like, hey man?
It means the world to me, because of when you have somebody like that. Like I grew up with all kinds of music, and when I got into photography, I started looking back at it, and he had a good hand in a lot of it, not knowing, but to be able to like, I have a photo idea, or I took a photo and be able to be like, what do you think of this? Like, what could I have done different? It's a great photo. What do you mean different? Okay. And he's very genuine with just saying hi. Like I was blown away when he first just came over, because I just was in the gallery trying to help or do whatever I can. And he came and said hi to me. He remembered who I was.
That's
that's a big thing, to me at this point. Yes, I can go up and ask him how he is, where he's been. I referred to Tina the other night as where in the world is Danny Clinch, because he is never he
always seems like he's kind of bouncing around from one place to the next, but seems to always kind of make it back here fairly often. So as we wrap up, I have two more questions for you. I wanted to ask, we're going to have Connor and Leeds come on next week.
Mother Leeds.
We're going to have Connor Bracken and the Mother Leeds
Can you
band.
look into the camera when you say that?
We're going to have Connor Bracken. Which one? We're going to have Connor Bracken and the Mother Leeds band next week. But I guess what I wanted to know was, how did you come to meet Connor and be involved in the band?
That's, again, like one of my favorite things is it was at the gallery.
Yeah.
They played, I liked what they were doing.
And you were like, I don't like that guitarist so much. I could do better.
Well, it was funny because he actually approached me about guitar, because at that point it was just me telling people that I played guitar.
Oh wow!
And
I play guitar.
Yeah, no, it was exactly that.
Everyone you walked up to, hi, I'm Jesse. I play guitar.
Yeah, yes, no, absolutely.
It was,
and
no wonder we kept you around.
and here I am. I had just posted stuff on Instagram or whatever, and he saw it. We just became friends just from being around. And then the time came up where he needed a guitar player, and I was the one that he asked. And I think so far so good.
Yeah, I would definitely say so far so good.
Wait until a band meeting next week.
Yeah.
My last question to you is, what is it like to have those two most important pieces of your creative life, music and photography, kind of coming together right now for you?
It's very important to me because it gives me so many reasons and options on, to me, breaking the ice with somebody. If it's a musician and maybe I already have talked about gear or something like that, I can be I took a photo or all that kind of stuff. It's everything that I love. So being able to take a photo of a musician and then be like, that was an awesome set, is very important to me, because it's two things that I truly love to do. So being able to take photos of local musicians that also became my friends, means the world to me, because I didn't really have that growing up.
Yeah.
My room was me and Steve Ray Vaughan.
Yeah. Just,
DVD live at Montreux.
Two boys.
well, Jesse, this has been a pleasure.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, absolutely.
This is a pleasure. Thanks so much, man.
Jesse Andrew, everybody.
Hey, thanks.
Right.
If you'll excuse me. One More with Brian Erickson is brought to you by the Asbury Park Music Foundation. The APMF raises money to support local youth music programs throughout Asbury Park that provide lasting skills, self-confidence, and life-changing experiences for underserved kids in our community. Excuse me. This includes funding for the Hip Hop Institute at the Boys and Girls Club of Monmouth, in-school music programs at Hope Academy, and scholarships for kids to attend Lake House Music Academy. APMF also hosts concert series throughout the year, whether it's Music Mondays at Springwood Park, or Asbury Park Live over the summer, Suburbia Friday nights, or the Sunday Songwriter Series. APMF has always got something going on. Check out their calendar for more details. And if you're interested in making a meaningful difference in the community or keeping Asbury Park's legacy of music alive, head to asburyparkmusiclives.org and make a donation. And while you're there, pick up a Music Saved Asbury Park t-shirt. Connor Bracken of Connor Bracken and the Mother Leads Band has like 6 of them. And all proceeds make it possible to support Music Saved My Life youth music programs. One More with Brian Erickson is also brought to you by the Bordentown Guitar Rescue. Founded by certified luthier Mike Virok, BGR has been building, modifying, customizing, and repairing stringed instruments since 2012. So why wait a month for basic setup from one of the big retailers when Bordentown Guitar Rescue has the quickest turnaround time in the state? So if your neck is bent, your nut needs filing, you popped your G string, or you've got dust clogging up your sound hole. I know Chris has those issues often. I hate that you're sitting right here and breathing.
Hi, Ava.
Call certified luthier Mike Virok for an estimate. Mention this ad and you don't get a discount, but still mention the ad anyway. Bordentown Guitar Rescue. Ah, crap, I broke my guitar again. Chris, over to you.
Hi, and now, ladies and gentlemen, Experiment 34.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of Asbury Park. Thank you so much for having us on tonight. These next 2 songs are off our brand new album, What Dying Feels Like, and we'll be releasing that on the 16th at Asbury Lanes. We got another white boy thinking he's Jesus, shooting up a school, he's thinking that to be pleases. The teachers out running, screaming, call the police, but the camera show up first. Suspect the disease, the youngest mama likes to drink, sits in front of the screen. Growing brain absorbs the pain and so he does what he sees. 6 years later, brainwashed and gunning. The ratings go up, now they benefit from it. Snapping in your face, I'm gonna break the chains. The masters wave their hands, singing dance monkey dance. Snapping in your face, I'm gonna break the chains. The masters wave their hands, singing dance monkey dance, dance monkey. Alright. A Nelly rat sees a Nelly cat and takes advantage. Just kitty bit in his butt. The rats are savage, are ravaging her body. She cried and she bled. He beat her over the head until he beat her to death. 2 kids a block away, have no mother now. No one asks how they feel living in the wrong town. Mama never did come back from the market. No thoughts for the family if nobody rabbits. Snapping in your face, I'm gonna break the chains. The masters wave their hands, singing dance monkey dance. Snapping in your face, I'm gonna break the chains. The masters wave their hands, singing dance monkey dance, dance monkey. Ha, ha. All right, yeah. 3, 2, 1, and dance like you're attached to a chain. Dance like you're attached to a chain. like you're attached to a string. I said dance like you're attached to a string. Dance like you're attached to a string. Dance. Well, snapping in your face, I'm gonna break the chance. The masters wave their hands, singing dance monkeys dance. Snapping in your face, I'm gonna break the chance. The masters wave their hands, singing dance monkeys dance. Dance like you're attached to a string. I say dance like you're attached to a string. Dance like you're attached to a string. I say dance like you're attached to a string. Dance like you're attached to a string. I say dance like you're attached to a string. Dance like you're attached to a string. I say dance, cut the string. Thank you, thank you. That song's called Cut the String. This one's called Pocket Change. This one's actually acoustic on the album. Every time that you seek as to serve and exploit, every dollar that you see is been dirty at some point. Every price that you pay, change and leave you behind. Every beauty has a piece of cut so deep on the inside. Every bad soul knows how to live and take. Every good girl grows and gives it away. Any clown can tell a joke and make you chuckle, and laugh as you choke and watch your knees buckle. So drop another quarter in the basket. Don't you wanna be saved? Drop another quarter in the basket. Your new friends who hate you. Drop another quarter in the basket. What is that taste? Drop another quarter in the basket. Better, 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 say, baby. Every chance that you save will kill you. Every that you break will mend. Every hole that you dig will fill you. Every bone that you break will mend. Every beast has a side you can't see. Every beauty has a heart that beats. Any fool can tell lies that sound nice and smile like they know you believe. So drop another quarter in the basket. Don't you wanna be saved? Drop another quarter in the basket. Your new friends who hate you. Drop another quarter in the basket. What is that taste? Drop another quarter in the basket. Pay to say, pay. How you living the life of you already started dying? How you living the life of you already started dying? You're living the life of you already started dying. You're living the life. So drop another quarter in the basket. Thank you.
Event for the week. Monday, February 11th, happy birthday to Ella Ross, Umbrella Ross, and sweet baby Lauren Patty. Love you both. Tuesday, February 12th, Robert Ender, Lucy Isabel, and Matt Responti at the Downtown in Red Bank at 7 p.m. Wednesday, February 13th, Strumberry Pie, Samantha Louise, Phil Robinson, Rory Deslanslow, I have no idea, Mike Rocket, and Deirdre Forrest at the Saint at 7 p.m. It's Galentine's Day, featuring Emily Grove, our own adult daughter, Jessie McCormick, and Kelly Cartwheels of Pepperwine at the Downtown at 7 p.m. And Raspe, you want to help me with this one real quick? Yeah, come on, so we can do this. Megan O'Shea, Matt DeBrow, and APMF's Jim Lenscole will be judging this year's anti-Valentine's Day songwriting contest at the Asbury Hotel. Who's that brought to you by?
Hashtag Nightwing Presents.
Nightwing Presents, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, you filthy animals. Also on Device and Diva Sweetly at Flemington DIY at 7 p.m. Friday, February 15th, post-Valentine's Day dance party at the Union Firehouse featuring Kate dressed up, the one and the only, Sex Office, one word, and Matt DeBrow and the Captives. Francie Moon, 7-inch record release featuring Spouter, The Hums, Shiner, and Fugawee. Haunt Club, Index Art Center, 7 p.m. I think there's another comma in there. The Barbarians, Wet Brain, Dave Mooney, and the Afraid Brigade at the AP Brewery, 7 p.m. Ecstatic Vision, Gods, Tide Bends, Career Opportunities at the Saint at 7:30 p.m. Typesetter, Well Wisher, Cicada Radio, and Delicate Flowers at FM Lounge at 8 p.m. Jenny and the Felines, Johnny Wilkie, Glenn Garr, and The Last Chance at Roxy and Dukes at 9 p.m. Apollo Saunders, Eric Mason, and Jake Tavel at the Asbury Hotel at 9 p.m. Sir Sherry's at the Old Town Pub at 9 p.m. Finding Phoebus, Alpha Rabbit, Brian Erickson in the Extensions, and the Big Dumb Burns at the Mill Hill Basement at 8 p.m. Go there. Roy Arbitron won't be there. Dark City Strings at the Asbury Lanes. Blaze, Shoobies, and Malibu at the Yacht Club. All right, almost there. I promise you guys are going to get to do it. I need to yell a little bit more. Saturday, February 16th, Rob Connolly, My Beautiful Son, and Riley Fields at the Transparent Gallery at 4 p.m. Matt Tellio at Haley's Harp and Pub. Catch Me If You Can at Sage Cafe. Kim and Dave at La Tova. Red Pants presents Deirdre Forrest, Catherine Quintana, and A. Bird at John and Peters at 7:30 p.m. That sounds awesome, actually. Fletcher's, Naughty Clouds, Rick Chess, and Finding Phoebus are at Pino's at 8 p.m. The Van Saders and Coach and Commando at 9 p.m. at the Asbury Park Yacht Club. Emily Grove at the Asbury Hotel. Tonight's musical guest, Experiment 34, celebrates their album release at the Asbury Lanes with Des and the Swagmatics. Bulletproof Bev featuring Maddie Carlock, No Thank You, P-Funk Newark, and Flourish at 7 p.m. at the Asbury Lanes. Go there. Bob Macon will be there. Do I need to sell it to you anymore? Sunday, February 17th, Brunch of the Boards with Bobby Mahoney and Karen Mansfield at Langosa Lounge at 11 a.m. Night Fires, Gianna Grossman and Kelly Faith at the Brighton Bar at 6:30 p.m. Joe Billy, Matt Kaz, Joe Galupo, the one and only, and Josh Chaffee at the Scarlet Pub at 8 p.m. And close out your weekend at John and Peters with the Inflatable Head and my band, the Big Dumb Burns. And now, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Experiment 34!
Yeah! For Chris. Good job, Chris. All right. The song's called Well You Know. All right. This revolution will be televised, for discretion is advised. A strong word to the weak. Avert your eyes, the young mothers grow weeping till the daughters cries. His young fathers start to steal the pistols, see who tries to force to feel the demise. Lies in search of better men, I'm severing the brethren of heaven and the resident of evil. I'm dining in hell, a party to the people that don't hide in the cell. I cry for those afraid to a spirit that fell. A reason for the demons had to go and rebel. Do tell me first or twice, hurtful first to a mercy or curse. And animosity lurks. We shine more and more each day. Why do the children stop their play? I'm running faster and faster, but I'm the curse down. There's no one left to say. We shine more and more each day. Why do the children stop their play? I'm running faster and faster, but I'm the curse down. There's no one left to say. This revolution will be televised, so dry them tears. What has the system instilled inside the level of fear? You can blame them, and throw no quips. Can't lay the facts, try to fight and these your peers. Well, I'm here, you took all out every single ignorant hypocrite. So if you're fluent, never write it down if you're literate. What's the middle victory? So this is a jigger man, never let it go. If you love it just a little bit, be rigorous against the big timers. Superfluously calm, if it gets you blessed, strong, if it gets you pissed. Feel the fist and beat you back, you feel this, feel that. Keep a level, any tactic. Best aristocrats, it could be a last day. Better make it count. What's the point of pain if the love is not around? I'm just a bad my dog and I'm off to roll the pound. You're the king of your world, you can borrow my crown. Which I'm more and more each day. What do the children stop their play? I'm falling faster and faster, but we'll make a sound until there's someone left to serve. I'm more and more each day. What do the children stop their play? Falling faster and faster, won't make a sound till there's someone left to serve. Come on, do you want it? To the children stop their play. I'm falling faster and faster, won't make a sound until there's no one left to serve. I'm more and more each day. Why do the children stop their play? I'm falling faster and faster, won't make a sound till there's no one left. Thank you. So those songs are off What Dying Feels Like. This one was not. This is off Charismatic 2.0. Check it out. This time is keys scraping on the ceiling and it's dying. Still stop my brain from the ceiling, but it's fake. Stop my ever spinning if I fall into the shade. Pop it, pick it back up where it started. Wait, I'm coming up for air. I'm coming up for air. Don't wanna get stuck. No, don't wanna get stuck down there. Yeah, yeah. I'm asleep in a dream and I'm still wide awake. I'm awake and the pace is a waste in the space. If I sleep forever, can I easily rest in the sky looking forward to whatever comes next? I'm coming up for air. I'm coming up for air. Don't wanna get stuck. No, don't wanna get stuck down there. I'm coming up for air. I'm coming up for air. Don't wanna get stuck. No, don't wanna get stuck down. Yeah, go, go. Get on. Alright, we are about to break it down now. Break it down now. Break it down now. Now. She's armed with a knife in the kitchen. She's armed with a knife in the kitchen. You heard? She's armed with a knife in the kitchen, pointing to a slot that she left on her arm. She's armed with later my petition, screaming till death do us part. 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 Until death do us part. I'm coming up for air. I'm coming up for air. Don't wanna get stuck. Don't wanna get stuck down there. I'm coming up for air. I'm coming up for air. Don't wanna get stuck. Don't wanna get stuck down there. Oh no, coming up for air. Don't wanna wanna get coming up for air. Don't wanna get stuck. Don't wanna get stuck. Don't wanna get stuck. 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 Down there. Thank you.
That was great. Oh, wow.
Thank you, man.
Great job, everybody. Jesse Andrew, Jeff Raspe. This is really, really high up.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, even for me. Now I know how everybody else in the world feels. Yeah, now. Jesse Andrew, Jeff Raspe, Chris Dubrow, Jesse McCormick, Experiment 34, live from the Asbury Park Music Foundation, sponsored by Mogo. I am, have been, and I remain Brian Erickson. Go see Experiment 34 this weekend, guys. Have a great rest of your week.